everyone. Spector et al. States that cognitive load theory basically helps explain and predict the allocation of working memory resources and the interaction between working memory and long-term memory. That there are three kinds of load that we take on in our cognitive thinking. There's intrinsic load, which is the complexity of the information that's being presented, an extraneous load, which is the load placed on the learner by the instructional system and the method of presentation, and a germane load, that is where the effective processing results in deeper learning. I teach Native Americans, specifically Apache students in northeastern Arizona, and one of the problems that we face over and over again is having the kids carry their information from year to year and being able to transfer that information and use it again the next year. And I see this especially in math. As I was doing my reading, Chippenham and Chandler pointed out that when the student is trying to do a complex math problem, they're using a lot of their intrinsic memory. And it takes a lot of workload for them to be able to figure out what that problem is supposed to be doing, and they shut down and they can't do as much. In order to help those students, they suggest that we show a worked model, work them through that worked model, and then help them to move on into building into the germane load and building the schema that they need to make that process go into long-term memory. I can see where this would be really helpful for my students as I'm teaching them. As I've gone through this reading this week, I have spent time consciously looking at my students and trying to figure out when they have had enough and when they're shutting down. And I'm noticing that more and more I'm trying to give them too much information. This math idea really struck me as one that I need to pay attention to. I need to break things down into smaller chunks so that the working memory doesn't get overloaded and has no opportunity to even get into long-term memory. The other thing that I read about was that Felton says that we as teachers also suffer a cognitive load. He talked mainly about new teachers, but I can also see it at the beginning of the year, especially if we've changed grade levels like I did this year. Trying to figure out my curriculum, my students, new ways of doing things going from 7th grade down to 5th grade has really put a lot of cognitive load on me and has caused me to have to build some more background knowledge and to dig deeper into my memory to find out what I did when I taught 5th grade before. So I can see where cognitive load theory is something that we really need to be paying attention to and need to be aware of as we work with our students.